right.
Oh, we rolling.
We rolling. All right, Facebook family and friends.
YouTube, Instagram,
Oh, Facebook.
TikTok.
I'm gonna edit that part out.
Yeah.
Family and friends. I'll be using Facebook a lot. Shout out to them.
We're trying to use Facebook less. So I don't know. But
Anyways,
peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings. We have made it to the smiling coast of Africa.
As you can see.
As you can kind of see in the background, we got a little tropical vibe going on. There's a little kid just walking back behind us. A lot of kids out here. You know what I'm saying?
Today is family day at the beach, by the way. It's a Sunday. Sunday is family day.
That's a really good thing about
Yeah.
Gambia. They do have time set aside for family.
Every Sunday at around about 5 p.m. is family time. All the families come to the beach and they eat together.
Hey, we'll get into that. Let me
Oh yeah. I'm just kind of in the.
Yeah, but let's stick
Ooh,
to
I
it.
just,
Okay, so we are Black Fruit International. I am Deshaun Thornton.
Jessica Thornton.
And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you our Gambian name. I'm going to give you my Gambian name that I was given.
Okay, so we gotta remember to do that again.
At the end of this video, you will know what they call me and Jessica in the Gambian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stay tuned until the very end.
So first things first, we've made it here safely. We've been here about 4 weeks now. Things have been going very well. Right now we're just taking time to settle ourselves in, kind of get to know the environment, get acclimated to the culture, get to know the people, and just kind of take things slow. One of the biggest parts of this journey for us also was just to have time to relax and to heal and to just create space where we can open our hearts a bit more and, be who we are destined to be in this life. So, we've taken that journey now together, and we are here in Africa experiencing that. And I've got to tell you, man, okay, go ahead, let's do a deep breath one time. Man, I shake.
Yeah.
But
Gotta
yeah,
do that more often.
so just to get some time to breathe, just to have a breath for a second.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been a breath of fresh air. And yeah.
So like you said, we're definitely being intentional about our time here, how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, and just really creating space for us to really just be, because we didn't have that opportunity fully in the States. And so that's what we are allowing ourselves to experience here, and to take our own healing journeys to another level, to level up and to fully embody what that means and what that looks like for us. And, one thing that we talked about coming here, or just in our planning and preparation, was like not to take, because we've done a lot of mindset shifting and things like that. So not to like take on or bring things here that we dealt with there, So, and we've heard a lot of stories about, just people being here and how that has affected their experience. But we were very just mindful of that, and really allowing that for ourselves. And, because we've all dealt with trauma, whether we're aware of it or whether we want to accept it or not, just being in the environment in America, in the US, and just, it's all around us. So we have to be open to that and be willing, and to do things that takes a lot of courage or can be scary, but we know that it's in our destiny to do, and it will inspire others in the process. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, we are healers ourselves. I am a licensed professional counselor, a mental health advocate. My wife is a nurse and much more, a doula, midwife.
I'll spill all the beans.
I mean, hey.
So my background is in nursing, and we'll talk about more of. I'll let you get back to.
Yeah, but you know, just as people who are in the healing profession, people who are in the helping profession, you know, it's very important that you take time to have your own self care. And that's one of the biggest things that you know, may be missing. It leads to a lot of burnout, leads to a lot of people just, you know, not want to be involved in their fields because it's heavy, you know. And if you don't get a chance to breathe, a chance to just step back and have some introspection, it can weigh very heavy on you. So, you know, we are very grateful that we have the opportunity to make a move like this and a trip like this. And, you know, we're about to turn it up.
Yeah, we got a lot of, we have some big visions, some you know, things that I know my family verbally expressed to me that they never would have even thought of or imagined, you know, that we would have done or they would have done for themselves. So, but just like you said, a little bit more about our backgrounds. I'm a registered nurse. I've been in the healthcare field for almost 20 years since I was a junior in high school. And my background, yeah, that's when I started as a CNA at Francis Tuttle Technology Center.
Talk to him. Shout out to Francis Tuttle.
Shout out, that's a very good
Technology
school.
Centers.
I highly recommend it. I went there twice.
Hey, had to go back.
Yes, for my LPN. Then leveled up again, got my RN.
Hey, leveled up on it. Okay, all right.
So yeah, I have a vast experience in the healthcare. My background is primarily in special needs pediatrics. I worked with special needs children, which I absolutely love. Also mother baby. I worked in the clinics and hospital settings, teaching new mothers how to breastfeed for the first time. I was a baby catcher, if you know what that's what they call it in the hospital. I was the first one to
okay.
on the baby once, you know, they have been delivered, and which I love that too. And that was a lot, you know, in that world that I've learned that brought me to where I am today. With my focus on holistic health and womb wellness, and just really cultivating these practices for myself and bringing that into the work that I do with women today as far as healing generational womb trauma and things like that. So here, definitely digging deeper into my skill set and expanding you know, using all of the tools that nature provided around us as it relates to holistic healing and natural healing, spiritual healing, all that good stuff.
Very good.
Was that good?
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Wow.
I was a little nervous.
Wow.
Okay. Now.
I know all that about you.
You did it?
No, I'm playing. Yes, I did. Anyways, yeah.
You probably
yeah,
didn't.
I did.
Okay.
I've been right there the whole way.
Oh, yeah, you have.
What?
Thank
you. Wow.
He really has. He supported me through a lot of stuff, y'all. And we got to make a whole nother video on that. It was tough for us to go through it in the time, in the moment, but I like literally put in my resignation letter. Did not have a concrete plan and just took a leap of faith and followed the vision that I had for myself and for us, you know. And I knew that it was gonna work out. I didn't know how, but it led us here, and he supported me through all of that, y'all. Yes, so we'll talk about that more thoroughly in detail. So thank you.
Shout out to the husbands out
you.
there
Yes.
that be holding it down.
That
is not something that goes unnoticed. My boy, my man. You know what I'm saying? We out here.
Yeah, and just expressing our appreciation for each other is so important, you know. Not just, you know, when times are tough or when you want something or need something, but making that a continual practice throughout relationships is important. So I appreciate you, my love. Thank you.
Oh yeah, the video. Okay.
So you want to tell more about your?
I've been working in the mental health field for about 14, 15 years now. I started off as what they call a psychosocial rehabilitation specialist. We help kids with basic coping skills, a lot of psychoeducation, teaching them how to manage, small issues and problems. I moved on from that to pursue my license in counseling. And so I did my supervision, became a licensed counselor, became a LPC supervisor, went through batters intervention prevention training, went through family divorce mediation training, went through cognitive behavioral TFCBT, trauma focused cognitive behavioral therapy. Right now, what I'm focused on is integrated mental health, which teaches about the connection between the mind and the body, what you put into your body, and how it affects the way you think, the way you process information, the way that you perceive the world, for that matter. But all in all, I would just consider myself a mental health advocate. If you're doing things that help you think clearer, have a better lifestyle, get to the you that you want to be, I'm all for it, and I will be there to support you all the way through it. So that's kind of what my love and passion is. I'm also an artist, also play the guitar. These shirts that we're wearing, of course, are a part of our brand, Speak Life. Like I said, as a mental health professional, it is important to me that, we are, one, telling ourselves the things we want to hear, not only from others, but just that internal dialogue that you have with yourself. That is very, very key.
Yeah, it can go either way. It can be destructive, or it could build you up, however you want to take it.
Yeah, so, speak life.
Be mindful of your thoughts.
Speak life. Let me get you up in there on the design, because... But yeah, so this is just one of many things that I've created just as a portion of our business model, and as an extension of my own, offerings for mental health and those things. So enough about that. The next thing I want to talk about is the time difference, family and friends, and you two people.
Yeah.
The Gambia.
Pretty much, before we dig in like that, this video is just about our experience within this first 4 weeks.
Okay.
So we're just sharing like tips, information, our experience overall. Because we get a lot of questions, and we're gonna do a separate video with like an FAQ, and all of that. But these are just some things that we have encountered or experienced that we want to share, that we feel would be helpful and beneficial to others who are just curious and want to know, or if you are ready to take the step moving forward to embark on the journey yourself, because it's doable. So
we out here, trust me. We didn't come from families that had a lot of money
at all,
had a lot of resources. We took the leap of faith, based on those foundational relationships. Of course, our family and the people that are in our lives made this trip possible, made this kind of move for us possible.
We had great support from our families on both sides.
And they continue to support us, So it don't got to be grandiose, you ain't got to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars to put yourself in a better position. And with that said, this is what this video is about, just to talk about our experiences so far and the things that we've encountered and went through since we've been here. So our next point of topic is the time change, or the time zone. We are on GMT.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that stands for, but
Gambian
mobile. Oh, okay. So,
but there is some kind of like mountain time, but it's Gambian something.
I'm not even gonna assume it's Gambian anything, but
it might not be. I don't know.
We're on GMT.
Yeah, but we're in the Gambia.
From where we came from, which was Oklahoma City. That is Central Standard Time. That's the CST. I know.
And we were both born and raised in Oklahoma City. Just to put that out there.
A little bit more background info. But with that being said, from Central Time to the time that we are in now in GMT is about 5 hours difference. If you are on the East Coast, it's about a 4 hours difference. If you're on the West Coast, it is a 7 hours difference. So just keep that in mind when you're sending emails and you want to text somebody, you want to send a hello. I might be asleep, but I'm gonna get back to you when I can. But so yeah, that was one of the biggest things. Maybe for the first, I would say maybe week or maybe even beyond the first week, I was having a bit of trouble with the time difference. Like
Yeah, we were
usually,
definitely still on Central Time as far
exactly,
as
we
our
was staying
sleep
up late.
schedule. We was
It's just like, okay, ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Might as well. You feel me? But yeah, it took a minute because usually when we travel, we're only there for a short amount of time, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. But like since we've been here and we know we're gonna be here, like time just seemed to have like not been as important in
It's
a lot
at
of
all.
ways.
And that's been also my goal, is to disconnect myself from time altogether, like to operate on my own everything, you know.
Don't waste your time now. I'm not telling you to do
Not
that,
waste your time, but
but be
be
mindful.
intentional about how you know, I move on my own time,
Mhm.
not on what time they say it is or what,
Okay, I
you know,
hear a little
all
oomph
of that.
behind that. I want my own time.
Yeah, and he know, because I hate alarms. I hate,
Mm.
you know, somebody to tell me to be somewhere at a certain time. I'm gonna get there when I get there,
Mm.
and that's when I'm supposed to be there.
Family, y'all know this. You know when
They
your two's
know.
talking. Yeah.
But, you know, on a more professional note, you know, on that level, definitely time can be of utmost importance. And so just finding that right balance of what works for yourself, but still doing things on our time,
Mhm.
you know, as it relates to our business, how we schedule our appointments, meetings, and
Right.
things like that. So, but as far as like with our family, like with making calls back to the US, like my brother, he'll call me at
Don't put your
like,
brother out there like that.
no, he know, we talk every day. He called me at like 1:30 in the morning, you know, which is like, I don't know, it's evening time, so 5 hours
It's like 9
behind
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, hey, like, what up, sis? I'm like, I'm in the bed.
But I'm
Or
up.
when I'm up.
Yeah.
But yeah. But usually sometimes around 1:30 I'm just now kind of winding down, maybe getting out the shower or about to lay down. So, but you know, just those things with planning calls with family. Like I set my alarm. I did set one alarm. I set an alarm for every Saturday at 2:00 p.m. I'm sorry, actually, this is throughout the week, every Saturday at 2:00 p.m. to call my mother in the morning, which is 9:00 a.m. before she goes to work. So we enjoy those talks before work.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so she can have a great day getting her day started, because she be missing me like crazy, y'all. But yeah, that's been a good thing, to be able to plan out time to communicate with our families.
And then speaking of business, you know, like once we do, because again, we are taking some time just to relax, just to enjoy, just to take a breath for a second. What we do, jump back into our business endeavors. That will be a consideration that I'm just speaking on now, that we're a bit, you know, ahead, way ahead of the U.S. time. But depending on where you are, you're on the East Coast, 4 hours, Central, 5 hours, West Coast, 7 hours. So with that being said, speaking of business, one of the first things you're going to do when you make it to a new country is exchange some money. Here in the Gambia, their currency is called Dalasi. And I'm
Dalasi.
going to show you a little bit of this stuff.
This is a 50
This is
Dalasi.
50 Dalasi. Now, you might be thinking, is that like a $50 bill? Not even close. This is like less than $1, you know?
Yeah.
So
Let's look
less
at
than 50 cents even.
Let's look at the rate right today to see what it says.
Okay, so
like, let me.
Right now, I think $1 is equivalent to 55
Right.
Dalasi.
Yeah. So today, this is what it said, and it can fluctuate, you know.
And so let's see, what is 50 Dalasi? 50 Dalasi is about 89 cents.
89 cents.
It's about 90 cents right here.
Yeah.
And
that can get you some fruits.
Now you have to be careful. This is 200, which is just a little bit over $3 maybe.
No, a 200. Wait. Oh, I got it
yeah,
backwards.
this is about 350.
Yeah.
350.
Yep.
Now, one of the cool things I do like about African money is that you see Africans own it.
Right.
You know,
it's a reflection.
These people
of
are
the people.
planting something, some farmers. But it's really cool just to see that, you know, that culture have not been lost, and they are still paying respect to the people who live in the land. and they're on the money. So
Yeah, and they do have coins too, which
mhm,
we don't
they're
get
very
coins very
rare.
often. Yeah,
Very
they're very
rare.
rare, but we
One
did
other
get one
thing
back at the store the other day.
I would say about the money is that it don't matter how crunchy it is. You know what I'm saying?
Or toe up it is.
They will accept it. Like, this is not even that bad. This is 10
But you see, it
right
got a
here.
hole in it right here. That's
And
okay.
nobody even will check to make sure that, I mean, as long as they know what color it is, because all the money is like color coordinated. So if I hand anybody one like this, even if I did this, they would accept it.
They'll take it. They'll take
Like,
it just like that. They ain't even gotta unravel it
You know
out.
what
They
I'm
they
saying?
know what it is. But even like we've received money like from a store that was like taped together, like money that ripped up that somebody literally pieced back together, and it's fine. It's no problem.
So it all spins the same. Trust me, it's not one velocity that goes unaccepted
all.
around here. So once you get here, change out your USD, your British pound, your euro, your yen, whatever it is you're bringing, and you will get velocity in return. One of the things about the money exchange too is that typically the value of your money is a lot higher than the local one, especially here in the Gambia. There are even places that will bargain for you to get a higher exchange rate than even what you see on like national indicators.
Yeah.
So like now we use an app that's like supposed to tell you what the value is.
So we have a currency exchange app that we keep. We pretty much use it every day, or very frequently. But it's called currency conversion or something like that. But it looks like this little gold. Can they see
probably
that?
not be able to see that.
Dollar sign. They can't see that, but it's right there. I jacked it up. Anyway.
Yeah, but we'll leave information about that if you would
will,
like to.
because it's very helpful. We use it all the time.
Another thing, okay.
Like
maybe I'll say that for another.
Like inside the.
No, just like about budgeting, because you can look at this money and instead of having $1 in your pocket, you got like $1,000, or $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 Dalasi, not $1,000.
So because you're not spending it in the small amounts maybe that you would spend in your own currency, these Dalasi go very fast.
Yes, they do.
You could have $1,000 Dalasi, which is like about $20 or less.
A little less than $20.
And that could be gone in a second. But when you're thinking about your money, please just be mindful that the currency is larger in quantity. So when you're spending on things, it may cost you $67,000. No, $67,000, not $67,000, but just the difference in the way the money operates. It can get tricky. So be careful.
And then also too, like when you're going into these places to exchange your money, especially if you are exchanging a large amount, like if you need to make a large purchase, always take somebody with you, because you're going to be counting your money that you receive. So the are they bankers or what are they? Tellers? I don't know what they call themselves, but the people who work at the
foreign exchange bureaus.
Yeah, so it's a bureau that you go to. It's little shops, they all around, but they'll count the money either in front of you or to you. But either way, always count it yourself when you receive it. Always, always. I don't care if you just getting like $5 or whatever, count it.
Yeah.
But especially when you're getting if you need to make a large exchange, you want to have a second person with you, so that you can split, because it'll be like a lot of money because of the quantity is more, even though it's less value. But like, say for instance, because we had to do that recently and we split it up. Like he counted half and I counted half, and we verified, and there was actually some missing. So these were pre-stacked bundles that they gave us that they had counted, because we went there. You went there earlier inside and you talked to the lady and told her we were coming to make the exchange. So they're prepared for us to come back, and they had already had the money counted out, and it was already wrapped in the bundles and everything. Don't let that fool you. So we pulled off the bundles. We literally counted every piece of paper, and there was some missing. Like overall, it was like
probably about $1,000 Dalasi.
$1,000 Dalasi. So a little less than $20 was.
But that's my $20.
But still, yeah. So there were like probably 5 stacks of the bundles that was missing one bill from each one. So just be mindful.
Okay. Language. Okay, so talked about the currency. The local currency is called the Lassi. Now the language. A lot of people have been asking, like, what language they speak over there? They actually speak several languages. Now, some of the main languages you will find are Wolof, Mandinka, and Fulani. But those are not the only ones. There are other tribes here, and there are other people here who represent other, countries and cultures
From
who
different
speak,
places.
who speak several different languages. So, but for the most part, English is spoken in very broken ways.
Very broken ways. It's so funny
It
too.
almost like you almost start to talk like them.
You kind of have to,
because the way that they break up the English, it's like if you use too many words, then they will not understand you. It will
don't
be
use too
very
many
hard to
words.
follow. So the less words you can use to get your point across, the better. This is a skill in communication.
Yeah.
So it will teach you how to say less, but also be effective and get your point across.
Yeah.
We have learned, a few of the greetings. Wolof, how are you, is Nagadef.
Nagadef.
And you reply to that with
Jamarek.
Jamarek, which means I'm at peace.
I am
I'm
fine.
fine.
I'm
I'm okay. I'm at peace. My favorite response is Santa Yala.
Santa Yala.
Which means it is okay. Everything's okay thanks to God.
Thanks to God. Yeah.
So,
Santa Yala.
Santa
We used to
Yala.
love, like when we first, that was one of the first things we learned how to say, and
it's just fun to say.
It just feels good. It feels good to your spirit to say Santa Yala.
And so we're learning a little bit of the Wolof language. We're learning a little bit of the Mandinka language. It's very funny being in the midst of both. Most people here speak both languages or speak all the languages that are here.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that you may get greeted in Wolof by some, and you might also get greeted in Mandinka by others.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends on who you're, in communication with.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're taking it,
we are learning the language a lot more. We have a book that we came with that we ordered from Amazon a while ago. So there's different versions of, like, say for instance, Wolof has two different versions. There's a Senegalese Wolof that originated from Senegal, and then there's the Wolof language here in Gambia, and it's slightly different. It can vary, so just be mindful of that too, like when learning the languages. But the Senegalese Wolof is also mixed with a little bit of French, and so they say it's a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
But also Wolof in general is easier to learn. That we've been told it's easier to learn than Mandinka. Mandinka can be a little more complex, but so we're just taking it easy. And we found a teacher. We found a few teachers actually, so we're working to get set up with them and really start digging into it.
Yeah, by next year I will not be speaking English anymore. So I just get y'all ready now, because if you want to talk to me, you got to learn another language other than English. Okay, so yeah. So another thing about greeting people, it's very funny that in America, or maybe in other places too, it's easy for us to like get right to the point. You may text somebody and say, "Hey man, meet me at the park at 5." You didn't ask this person how they doing, how their day was, how their family is. You just want to know if they can meet you at the park. Now, I made the mistake, and one of the guys that was driving for us, his car had broken down. And days prior to that, I was texting him asking me, are you okay? Is the car okay? He said it was getting worked on. And then the next day I texted him, I said, are you available to drive today? That's all I said. Are you available? That was the first thing I said to him. Are you available to drive today?
Nothing else.
He sent me 3 messages before that, before he even got to my question. He would say, hey, good morning. How are you? How is your wife? Are you guys okay? Are you fine? And then after that, he was like, the car is still down. It's not working still. So it's very heartwarming to know that the people actually care about how you're doing.
Yeah,
about
and
how
they genuinely
you feel.
do care. It's just everybody that you will encounter will ask you,
but you're not
how are you?
Just gonna get to talk. Okay, yeah. So people want to know how your family's doing, how your wife's doing, how your kids are doing, before they ever get to whatever else y'all want to talk about. But just it is very heartwarming to know that there are people out there, that operate like that. That's just the culture. And some people may be annoyed by that because it's like, well, man, just answer my question. But no, seriously, just take some time to check on somebody, you know, to see how somebody else's day is really going,
how they are really
how they're
doing.
really doing.
Yeah.
And we have a lot to learn from that.
Yeah, and even like I was gonna mention too, like even say, for example, if you're calling a business or something like that, and you just, you know, as soon as they pick up the phone with the, you know, so and so business, you immediately ask them whatever it is that you need. You know, like, what are y'all open today? You know, what's your hours?
Right.
Do y'all got this? You know, but it's like even over the phone, it's that way. Here, when you're calling, it's still like, hi, how are you? You know, are you okay?
fine?
You know, yeah, are you fine? And then it's like, okay, well, do y'all have this on the menu?
Yeah.
Are y'all open today? What, you know, or whatever that
The
ask may be.
pleasantries are always
Yeah.
first. The greetings
Yeah.
are always first, then the ask.
So it's
okay?
like, you know, it's important to be patient and take the time to do that. And it really makes a difference in your interactions with people, you know, and how they perceive you and just making those connections overall.
Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is the idea of romanticizing Afrika. And I want to talk about this from a different perspective, right? Because there are a lot of people who come or want to come to Africa and they've got their own ideas about what Africa is going to be, who they're going to be in Africa, what they have to offer Africa. And you got to get to Africa first. You know, you have to be here, you have to see it, you have to feel it, and you have to respect what is already happening around you. You know, this place is a place of our ancestors and our land and our lineage in a lot of ways. For those of us who track it back to Africa, because that will not be everybody's story, obviously. But for those who are, you know, have some stake in the game in Africa, you know, it is anybody's dream to come back and live here. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I don't think there should be an argument about people who, you know, who are overly just excited and just like think that now Africa is not going to change who you are on the inside, you know. And with that being said, if you're not okay where you are right now, you know, Africa is not going to change that. And there's a thing about being, you know, who you are right now. We're going to talk about that too, okay? But anyway, back to my point. It is okay. It is okay to romanticize Africa, to think Africa is everything that there is, because this place is truly amazing. It is beautiful. I could just pan you around right quick while we out here. So that focus is saying, oh, whoa, right? I mean, right?
Riding
I
horses on
mean,
the
whoa.
beach.
I mean, now who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want to be amongst, you know, this beauty and nature and the people? But it is deeper than that. You have to really be right with yourself before you go anywhere. Thinking that you're going to leave one place into another place, and that's going to change everything. It's not. You have to do the work inside so that wherever you go in the world, you'll be okay.
And just to add on to that, it's so important to just appreciate the rawness of this place, you know, the rawness of Africa, and appreciate it for what it is. You know, it may not be so manicured and so pretty in a lot of places. What we just showed you right now is beautiful because we're on the beach, but some places where you go,
it gets real.
It gets, yeah, it can be ugly, but just appreciating it's,
real.
you know, the spirit of Africa is a beautiful place, you know, but also I'm saying that to say there can be, there are struggles that Africa deals with that we have to be open and honest about, and just not downplay some of the things that are, you know,
some of the challenges,
you know, but it's just being being open to experience, you know, whatever it is that you need to learn and experience along the journey.
But don't come here expecting to have the exact same life you had when
It's a
wherever you
totally
live. You are in a totally
It's a
different
different
world.
mindset shift. It's a different lifestyle.
Um,
So appreciating it for what it is.
Mhm.
You know, it may not have all of the conveniences. You literally have to work and build up what you do. Like coming here, you know, you don't just go and get everything that you want at one place. You might have to shop around to get 10 things for one thing that you need,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying. So just those types of situations, but also, like I said, there's definitely challenges that Africa that you know we as a people here deal with, just the system, politically, you know, corruption, which is everywhere, you know, it's here, but it's also everywhere. And if you ask me, it can be worse in America. I mean, it's different. It looks different, but it's the same. So don't think of, you know, that it's just that it's so much better or worse in a different situation, but just appreciating it for what it is and just being open to the differences in what you will experience, if that makes sense.
Be respectful. You know, respect yourself enough to know that you don't have all the answers, and experiencing a new culture for the first time and having these grandiose expectations about what you expect and how you gonna live and what you deserve. Like, come on now. Africa been here a long time before any of us, and so we need to respect this land and its people, and come and bring the things that we can offer that are good and that make it, make it better.
Yeah.
Without trying to change it and make it something that it's not supposed to be.
Or what you think it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, what you think?
But just meeting, you know, like with us, we each have our own specific skill sets and gifts and talents and ideas that we come to just to build upon. But not that we are, imposing on the culture or anything, but we're just expanding within ourselves and then sharing our gifts with those around us. So I think there's definitely a lot of different perspectives around the idea of romanticizing Africa, but I think most importantly, just we've seen a lot of stories and things like that about just conflicts and all kinds of things, but how prepared are you?
That part. The
preparation,
is, I think, is
like,
the most,
and
because
releasing your expectations, even releasing expectations and not being, I don't know, I guess setting yourself up for disappointment or whatever that may be. But I think definitely releasing all expectations is like the number one thing.
Just do your research. That's
your
the main
research
thing.
and get to know somebody who's here and locals who are here. Yeah.
Plenty of people have been sharing their stories about these different countries, about Gambia, about different places in Africa. And just open your eyes, really take it in, for the good, for the bad, for the worst, for the beautiful, all of it. But also check yourself, that's the main thing. Okay, so right now we're still in the rainy season. It's October. And we were told, remember, people tell you stuff and you find out it's not the same when you get here. So people were saying that the rainy season typically would end, around the mid-September, like, the 15th, maybe a week after that. But it's,
Yeah. I mean,
almost
technically, I think it says like the beginning of October is supposed to be the dry season where there's no more rain. But today is what? Today is actually
October the 9th.
Sunday, October the 9th.
And
it rained today.
Raining out here.
This morning, some heavy rain.
Raining. Not like,
right, not
drizzling,
no little baby
like,
rain.
No, like, it's coming down. You know what I'm saying?
Not
it's
no little
down.
baby rain.
So
not no sprinkle, not no drip drop.
No,
it's like
wake
down.
you up out your sleep.
Exactly.
It's like, the rain, like rain in the States.
Sleep.
Sometimes it'll be like one of them calm, relaxing rains that you want to curl up in a bed and take a nap. This rain will wake you up out your sleep.
It will.
It make you get up and start thinking. Like, you guys are wow. You want to be alert when it's raining over here.
But You know what? I'm gonna say that like I feel like the weather that we experienced in Oklahoma. I mean, if it
Oh
rained,
yeah.
I would be scared that a tornado is about to come or like just something crazy. But here, like I feel, even though it's coming down a lot more than what we've experienced in Oklahoma,
Like, is
I
that rain
still
though?
feel a sense of peace just because like I don't know, it's just the energy of the climate here, the weather. Like I still feel at peace even when I hear thunder outside. I'm not scared to go run and hide from the tornado or whatever. So
Because after the storm there is the calm, right? And
yeah,
so that is always prevalent. We see it, like it may be raining and then like it's like the most beautiful day ever, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So it
And
just
it's not an ugly rain. It's like afterwards, like you said, it literally
it's,
clears up. Like you
yeah.
would not have even known that it just rained. You know, the sun will be shining and it's just beautiful. So yeah,
Okay, so with that being said, because it is still raining and because there are some, you know, small issues with infrastructure, large issues with infrastructure,
yeah,
more importantly, the roadways, it is very, 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 very difficult
very,
to
very, very, very,
navigate
very.
on some of these roads out here. I mean, you may be your car may be halfway underwater as you're driving through certain parts,
Literally.
and like every time you're holding your breath, it's like, oh, we're gonna make it out of this one. Oh, okay, we good. To the right now. But man, we've seen cars stuck in the mud. We've seen every day. I can literally
Every
say
day,
every day.
multiple times per day.
Every day that we've left our compound, we've seen people pushing their cars out of the mud or getting stuck in the mud
Or something.
or
I mean,
having a
even if
significant
it's
having a significant like car problem, like
yeah,
the wheel like this. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah.
have,
And I was gonna. Oh, I didn't mean to
oh,
cut
go
you off,
ahead.
honey. I was just gonna say that even if it wasn't like, even if it's not mud, if it wasn't raining, it's still holes in the road.
Mm. And
Not
then
all of the roads are paved. You
and then
know.
when the roads dry up, there's dirt
Yeah.
everywhere. So you're driving through a dust bowl.
Yeah.
And so, and
This
it's
is
not
just in
like
some
that
places,
everywhere.
not in
Yeah,
all
it's not like that
places, but
everywhere.
it does
But
exist.
they're still working on the roads. They just pulled up one of the main roads that has a lot of traffic on it every day. And so you also have to be considerate of the fact that, you know, things are just not going to be what you expect and what you're probably used to.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to come with your mind open and be able to adjust and adapt
Yeah.
to
And
the new
it's
place you're
okay
living.
because life goes on, and that's just a part of
But you gain so much
the
more respect,
lifestyle
you know, for the people who endure it every day, and they not complaining. They just
at
going,
all.
they doing their
Yeah.
thing. They making it here now.
Yeah.
They're not, I'm not gonna lie. They're people complaining because the drivers on the road,
Yeah.
the taxis, like
They
man,
do.
they know these
Because
roads are not
the
good,
roads jack
and this
up
is
the
how they make
cars.
their money. So
Yeah.
of course, it's impacting them. You know, not only navigating for themselves, but their ability to continue working if that car breaks down on one of those bad roads. So dry season will be coming in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be showing you some clips of some of the road conditions we've seen so far, and also when things start to, excuse me, also when things start to clear up. But literally, when you're on these dirt roads, like when it stopped raining and it's dried up for a day or so, um, people are literally wearing masks, you know,
Not because of
walking down the
COVID.
street. No, because if you were just concerned about your health and wellness, you know, you'd be advised to cover your face with something because otherwise you breathing in dust, dirt, everything else is on the road. It's getting your eyes
Yeah.
and all the other orifices.
All the orifices, all the crevices.
So,
And just, I mean, my eyes are so sensitive anyway. Like I literally carry my like eye wash solution with me everywhere that I go because dust gets in my eyes and they're so sensitive and I have to rinse them frequently or whatever when I need to. But yeah, so just little things like that, you know, you want to take care of yourself and be mindful of.
word.
Yeah, and clean your nose and your ears because
Yeah,
dust might get in
listen,
it.
clean it like daily.
Daily. Not that, I mean, you should do that anyway.
Yeah, you should
but...
do that anyway, but especially out here where you're breathing in a lot of things just that are floating around in the air. Yeah, it's critical because you don't want that building up and backing up on you.
But that part, that's on the main roads. Like right here where we are now, no dust. It's beautiful. We're on the beach. You can breathe, you can enjoy it. You don't have to worry about none of that. So besides the dust on the roads creating dust in the air is so beautiful and so clean and crisp to breathe in. So we're breathing in all these good ions from the ocean in the atmosphere,
And
which
it is
feels
so
amazing.
refreshing, man. Like, feels like breathing air for the first time. like this is what air is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
This is what a breath's supposed to feel
Yeah,
like.
it's not polluted like
It's
that,
just very crisp and very beautiful. Very beautiful breeze.
Beautiful breeze.
Beautiful breeze. Okay, let's talk about the. Okay, so I'll say this real quick. Whatever the road condition is, right? Most people here, I would say 90% of people are wearing sandals or flip flops or just something that they can slide in and out. They like slide
They
their
like
foot
the
in and
feet
out
to
of.
be free and open all
Yeah,
the time.
because also to my next point, this is a predominantly Muslim country, and so there are a lot of prayers that go on throughout the day, a lot of removing of the shoes as you enter and exit different places. So, wearing tennis shoes is not that important to them, unless you exercise like this cat running on the beach right now. But for the most part, most people are walking around in, very comfortable style shoes, and they're walking through whatever in them, the mud, the sludge,
The
everything. And they
trucking along,
ain't
not even looking
tripping.
down.
No, not even tripping. So it's very very eye opening.
So don't
just
wear
to
your
see.
fresh white
Yeah, don't
horses.
go in no shoe you care about. Okay. And
I mean,
unless
of
you got
course,
some real
yeah.
nice, real nice sandals that are just for that.
And comfortable.
And
You want to
comfortable.
definitely have comfortable walking shoes, whether they're sandals,
But,
tennis shoes, whatever they are.
If
But
you're a collector of any kind, some kind of shoe guru, just leave them in the case, my guy, because they're gonna take some damage out here. Trust me, they're gonna take the man. They worth $500 yesterday, but today $299. Today $299. I'll take them. But yeah, so be mindful of that. Again, to my point, this is a predominantly Muslim country. There are Christians here. There are people who represent the Rastafarian faith. And everybody seemed to be able to coexist together in peace. Nobody's trying to push their religion on the other. Nobody's trying to tell the other how to live. And they're very open to anybody who comes in and, is of a different religious belief than they are. Which can be a great thing because sometimes, I don't want to get into the religion aspect of things, but it can be a thing that divides people individually. So just come here knowing that whatever faith you represent, it will be respected and accepted. And
yeah.
we've seen people
they live
here
very peacefully amongst each other. Christians, Muslims, Rastafarians,
whatever you are.
Yeah, and I think this kind of backtracks a little bit, but still on point to what you were saying earlier about most people wearing 95% of them wearing flip flops.
I said 90,
like
but you don't
90
know up to
whatever.
95.
Yeah, in the 90 it might be, but they also cleanse their feet routinely. Like they cleanse their feet throughout the day. There's like faucets on the side of the road, or they carry these little pots around, and they're literally cleansing their feet as a part of their it's like a ritual for them. And even like before the Muslims pray, you'll see them just openly on the side of the road in front of their business or wherever they are. They'll have their mats with them rolled out, and they'll be cleansing themselves. They wash their hands, their face, their feet before they pray. So that's something else that we see that is very normal and accepted. So
okay,
our battery is,
we're just gonna let it go until it goes. Use it all. Okay. So Gambia, I mentioned there are a lot of Rastafarian faith followers here, and this is like the Jamaica of Africa. There are a lot of people
they call it that. They call Gambia the Jamaica of Africa.
Because there are a lot of Jamaicans who have migrated here. There are a lot of Jamaican artists who come through here and perform. And so that is just, even if you have locks like me, you can see I'm wrapped up today, but well, it's a tall one
Wrapped
too.
up, tucked in.
But yeah, if you got locks, you automatically a Rasta. Don't even matter what you.
Yeah, but they call
They
locks
call locks
rastas.
Rastas.
Yeah, they don't call them locks. They don't call them dreads. They call these are rastas.
Rastas.
If you got locks, they are rastas.
Yeah, Rastas.
And you are a rasta.
You are a Rasta. And so there are a few. Maybe we can say that's it. No. So like when we got here, a lot of people who are walking around on the beaches, you know, selling things and just trying to get tourists to spend a little bit with them. They even have musicians who will come up and, you know, write a song in your honor, you know, and just based on your appearance or your name or whatever it is you give them, they will, you know, start playing the music and, you know, here we go with whatever the theme is. So the first time I was given a song, it was called Rastaman. Rastaman, 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 Rastaman.
That's literally how the song went.
Rastaman, 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 Rastaman.
And he had an instrument. I can't remember what it was, but an African, a traditional instrument he was playing.
And then Jessica told this guy her Gambian name, and he made a whole song about that. I'm not gonna tell him the name.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's just funny. Like,
it is.
No matter, like I said, if you got locks, they got their rosters.
Yeah, and just, you know, just to put the disclaimer out there, we do not subscribe or claim any religion.
No.
We are non-religious, spiritual practitioners. Love is our religion.
Talk to them now. Okay, so the next thing is, with that being said, we have the religious faiths who share equal country here, the Rastas who are here. Now the tribes, you have the Mandinkas, you have the Wolas, and you have the Fulani. And
there are some others.
There are some others,
small numbers,
yeah.
But they are here.
But those are the major ones that are represented here on the continent of Africa and Gambia. So with that being said, there is a bit of tribalism, but not in a nasty way. Not all the time anyway. Because you see them also marry each other. You have Wolas married to Mandinkas, Mandinkas married to Fulanis, but they all clown each other and joke with each other and just talk about like I'm your grandfather because the Mandinkas, you know, came first, and then the Wolas branched from there.
Kunta Kinte was also a part of the Mandinka tribe, so they are very proud of that.
Yeah, very, very proud of their culture, and so it's not always a negative thing, but there is some, you know, back and forth that goes on between the tribes.
They won't even eat each other's food. Like, they each have their own traditional dishes.
Like they won't make it. Like
they won't cook it, prepare it, or they won't even eat it sometimes.
Now that's not all people, obviously,
not
because
all of
some.
Them, but definitely
in our
some.
experience, we've seen just like we have a friend of ours, a very good friend of ours. He's a Mandinka. His wife is a Wola, and so. You know, they go back and forth about what dishes are better. Is it Benachin? Is it Domada? Is it Yassa? Is it, what is the other one? Supakanya Ebe. Yeah, so there are these different dishes that they prepare culturally that, you know, if it's not made by the certain particular tribe member, then it may not be as tasty.
Or it may not get eaten.
It may not get eaten, hey. So that's just some of the small things we've seen as far as that goes. But it is really cool to just see them all, you know, kind of mash up and live as one.
Yeah, we even met a Wolof today who speaks Mandinka more fluently than his own language.
Because
so
of
his something because of
the relation of where he's at. He lives around. Yeah, he lives around mostly Mandinka, right. So they
like in the village that you're in, your community, you may be surrounded by a whole different tribe, and you just kind of have to adapt. Really, you don't have a choice but to speak the language.
And they're very stubborn too. Like they will not speak other languages if they know you can speak, you know, their language.
Yeah,
so
some of them will not speak it, but usually they both speak both languages.
Yeah, most people here speak multiple languages. You know, I would say at least 3 at the minimum. You got some English, whatever the tribal languages are, and you know whatever else they picked up along the way. aside from that, just talking about people we've met. We met a guy. I believe he was a Mandinka. He works at one of the cool beach bars that we like. I'm not gonna say the name yet because we're gonna tell y'all about those places
we
later.
got a whole nother video for that.
So he's sitting with us and just talking about like the what Africans see when they see you, right? They see you as somebody who came from a place that is abundant in money, abundant in resources, abundant in everything else that they feel like they are lacking. And with that being said, you might as well be Benjamin Franklin himself because they just see you as a dollar sign, you know, walking down the street or down the beach. And at every turn, these people will try and ask you, you know, for that money or for those resources because they assume that a lot of us who are coming here are rich or got lots of wealth, and we got it like that.
And that's because of what is portrayed of America or what they see on TV, or because they know nothing about America as far as the experience besides what they see, and that's what's shown to them. So it's just you know,
and that
something that we can help them understand that it's not all, you know.
Yeah, and taking accountability for yourself too, because like how you present yourself, you walking around with nice fancy clothes on, and like one of the things I left all my suits home because I maybe even gave some away because I'm like, well, I'm gonna wear a suit to out here. You know what I'm saying? Like I have nice shirts and stuff like that, but just like it's not necessary. And I would really feel out of place to be walking around all buttoned up in a place where that's really not even the culture.
And occasionally like, you will see some men wear suits,
like, you know, business guys
business,
and
occasionally, but otherwise they're in their traditional African attire.
Because there's
or regular American clothes.
You're right. Because there's even a way that, you know, they've made their cultural clothing business attire.
Yeah.
And so if you see me in a business like that's how you're gonna see me. My suit may have like some African print on it or something.
Like at our party.
Yeah. But you know, just being mindful of like it's not about looking the part, you know. It's about what's in your spirit and about connecting with people on a human level to let them know that you're just like them in a lot of ways. A person that wants to survive, wants to take care of their family, wants to have a meal on the table every night, and just wants to live a, you know, decent life. But, you know, we do ourselves a disservice too, just about the way we present ourselves and acting or pretending like we've got more than we got. And we've got to get out of that mindset because it is crippling the ones who don't know that you fronting and faking and are still aspiring to have those things. So when you come here, you know, there's this concept about the vanity versus the reality, and getting past it looking good and getting to it being good. Okay.
You were talking about the guy who we met at the place, and the conversation with him was just so compelling. Yes, it was confirming, it was compelling, it was intriguing just to hear his perspective. But I asked him specifically, I asked him a question. I said, in some form or another, I asked him, what is your advice to me, to us, as Black Americans coming from the U.S., and how we can truly connect with our people? Ooh, y'all, I got stung. I gotta make a video about that. I got stung by a bee. Oh my, like for real stung for the second time in my life. And it was just one flying right here, but it just went away. I don't know why I attracted them, but anyways.
Because you're sweet.
I'm just buzzing like and high vibrating all around, and
I said because you're sweet like honey.
Thank you. That too.
That's the one right there.
Okay, I'll take it.
That's the one.
So, so I asked him, you know, what was his advice to me, and how can I, you know, connect with our people here, our brothers and sisters, on a deeper level, without them seeing me as a dollar sign or as a whatever, you know, a tubob.
Oh yeah,
we got to talk about that. I mean, because they see primarily because we don't speak the language. Like we don't speak the like traditional African language. Person. Yeah, we speak English, so some of them see us as white. Literally, we heard that when we were in one of the shops, is because we speak English. But on the other hand, that's just one aspect of it. There are some who are very who are welcoming, and they, and loving, and take us in and want to connect and build those types of relationships with us. But at the same time, um, when I asked him that question, what his advice would be, his response to me was to, like you said earlier, show them that we are survivors too. We are in this struggle together and rising above together, and just smile at them, like something as simple as greeting, like welcoming them, making eye contact with a smile, because that just breaks down the barrier right then, when you can connect with someone with a smile, with your smile and with your heart. And
learn the language. I mean, even if you're practicing, like trying to like communicate with them, they love that. Like,
Yes,
I've
they
seen
do.
people just like
It lights up their
light
spirit.
up, just like
saying
if
a
you
little
trying
word,
to say
like,
how you doing, like they laughing at you, like
Yeah.
you're not like maybe inflecting the right way, but they know you trying,
yeah.
and they tell you, I see you trying, I see you trying. But
Or they'll say, "Oh, Wolof."
it's
Like, if we,
not that much.
yeah, we'll say like Jetty Jeff, which is thank you, and they'll be like, "Oh, Wolof."
Yeah,
like,
so
we're learning.
it don't take a lot, just to
they
show
do.
them
Yeah.
that you're a human being and you respect them as a human being,
Yeah.
and you're trying to find ways to have some relatability.
Yes. Find ways to relate with them, because we are one. We are one people, and yeah, the divide is an illusion.
So going off that one, talking about your appearance and how you look, there's also a big difference in hygiene practices, across cultures, especially here that we're in the Gambia.
I think it's safe to say across the continent,
across the world,
across
even
the
maybe,
world,
but
for sure.
definitely, like, some of the things you may see or maybe think are normal, like, for instance, you may take a bath every day. Some here people may take a bath every other day or every week or when the water's on, you don't know what their situation is.
Yeah.
And so to come judging because you might smell a little funk, or, for lack of a better term, it may not be because that person is not clean.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's not because that person is not taking
don't
care
let
of
it
themselves.
offend you, or
Right.
don't assume or judge anybody by the way that they look or smell, because they may have just taken a bath, but they have different, practices. They use different products. Some of them, what we've learned, they use, natural oils or whatever. So it's just different. They not all flowered up in Bath and Body Works and all of that, but it's just different. So just being open and mindful and respective and non-judgmental.
They ain't faking the funk. They're not faking the funk.
Yeah, but saying all that to say, to take care of your own personal needs, and the needs of your family. Just when you're visiting another country, or living in another place, carry around the things with you that you need, whether it's hand cleansers, whether it's your natural deodorants, whatever you wear.
Your own napkins, your own paper towels, your own tissue,
your own feminine wipes, things like that. Because some places do not have toilet tissue. Some bathrooms, we did well in the village area. Was the only bathroom that we saw that was a hole in the ground. But in Kenya, we saw that more often.
It could be at a nice place,
in nicer places, but the bathroom was a hole in the ground. But here, so far, we've only seen it out in the village, way out in the village area, where there was a hole in the ground. Otherwise, you'll have a real toilet that really flushes that, but they may not have toilet paper.
They do have showers.
And bathtubs. They have showers and bathtubs, but some of the bathrooms have sprayers. It's not like, I guess the concept is like a bidet.
Yeah.
So that's the concept, but it's not actually a bidet. It's like a handheld sprayer, like a nozzle.
It's
from
like
the
the thing,
kitchen.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the kitchen sprayer. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see that in some bathrooms connected to it, and those are used. I don't, like to touch those things, but I have carry my own for my personal needs. But anyway, just to be mindful when going from place to place of differences, different things that you may see or may not see.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Hey, we're
Oh
cussing
my
on
god!
here. This is a family channel.
Is it okay?
The heck?
Oh, here we are.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah, right here.
okay. So let's talk about boundaries. And given that you're in a new place, there are going to be a lot of um, social, cultural things that you need to learn, and even to set boundaries in place for yourself, because there is a very, very strong closeness,
Yeah,
proximity to one another that people like
yeah.
to be in.
People like to be very close,
Yeah.
especially like families. Like you'll see brothers literally just walking down the street hugging each other.
Just touching at some level,
Yeah,
right?
just touching in some level.
And people will get right up in your face and start talking,
Yeah,
and you have to just be able to have some personal boundaries, because they don't
they don't mean
they
no
don't mean no
harm. It's
harm
just
by it,
you know.
and they don't mean anything by it, but just culturally, that's who they are. That's like
Yeah,
they like to be close
and connected.
and connected. And so even having a dinner with the family, may be a little bit different from what you experience, because you got your own plate, you got your own spoon, you got your own fork, you got your own
You in
everything.
your own space, eating your own meal.
And when they eat, everybody shares. There may be one big bowl and no spoon, or one spoon.
Yeah,
And they're all either eating with their hands, and, just taking it,
yeah,
and that's just how it is.
yeah,
And if you're somebody who's uncomfortable with that, at least be able to speak up for yourself in a respectful way, or just not involve yourself at all,
Yeah.
because that is very common. And
yeah,
I really think that there's beauty in that, because it's not about separatism. Even if you only got a little bit, we're going to share the little bit that we got with each other,
yeah,
and everybody's bringing a little bit to the table and sharing that.
yeah,
So as you come and you find different things. Even with somebody just walked up to us, it was wanting to sell us something. You got to be able to just say no. Like, I'm not interested. I'm okay. I'm fine. Thank you, sister. Thank you, brother. But just very respectfully let them know that you're not interested, because they will not take the first no. Let me tell you that.
Yeah,
The first no is like,
trying to
it's
get
like
that
you just
money.
said, huh? Because
It's a
you might
part-
as well say,
yeah.
what you got? Because they don't take first no as
Yeah.
actually, I'm not interested.
I mean,
No.
it's their business, their livelihood.
Yeah.
They gotta make money for the next day.
And there may be several people like who ask you to buy something. So you may have to say no 20 times in a day or in a moment.
Yeah.
And just being able to be okay with that. Don't take it offensively, because they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
And you just need to be able to say no, or maybe even give what you can give, if you can give something, and just let that be. But don't feel bad about saying no or setting boundaries, because you'll have to do that a lot here.
Yeah.
Just to have some backbone, and just sureness about what you want to experience, what you want to involve yourself with. Even when it comes to people, there'll be a lot of people who see you and just want to be around you. Like, you're American or you're from wherever you're from.
You look interesting
You
to
look
them.
interesting. You maybe a little interesting, and folks just want to be around you, want to be in your
They're
life.
very curious.
And so you have to also be mindful of, like, also who you want to be around, and how you want to introduce new people.
Yeah, and they will stare at you. Don't get offended. It's just
Mhm.
you look interesting. But also to what you were saying about the food and sharing meals. So for them to share a meal, that means oneness. That means that we are one. We are connected. And so we've been offered meals.
Yeah, after we just ate. Like, come on.
But from people's own personal
Yeah.
plates, we've been
Mhm.
offered. here, like join in. Would you
Yeah,
like to
just
join
come,
in?
come,
You
come
know,
eat.
like come
This
eat.
is so nice. You gotta
Yeah,
like they
it's
want you
like
to
come eat.
they want you to have the
Yeah.
good. They want you to experience the good things that
Yeah.
you know they have to offer. Africa has to offer. There's a lady coming to walk up to us now and ask if we want to buy something. I'm going to
And
give her
then
something.
even like,
Hold on, let's.
okay.
Hello, sister.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? What do you have there? Vegetables.
Oh, I haven't seen cucumbers on the beach.
Vegetables.
Let me see.
How much?
Cucumber,
Cucumber 25.
25.
cabbage. Oh, just you have one cabbage. I haven't even seen garlic at all since we've been here.
Do we need carrots?
We have 2, but we could. I mean, we could use more. I just make sure they don't go bad. Cook them like tomorrow.
I mean,
That's probably 3 will be plenty.
okay.
A cucumber.
Not a lot
Cucumber,
of
just look, huh?
carrots.
One is 25.
25.
One is
Okay.
25. Okay.
Just
75.
check.
Yeah, probably just.
Always I have fresh one.
Yeah, this one looks
It
good.
looks very nice. What about that cabbage though? We don't
Yeah,
have
that's what I
any
was
of that.
saying. We need cabbage. Cabbage, please.
Sweet potato.
We have sweet potato already. Is the cabbage good?
Yeah, this is the cabbage.
Yeah, is it okay?
It's
We can
okay.
peel it back. Yeah, it's just a little brown. Probably just one, just this one. Yeah,
This one.
yeah.
Okay. Nyatala?
Cabbage is 50.
50.
50.
50. 75. That's 125.
Yeah.
And then this is 50.
25.
25. 150.
I think, do we need limes for anything?
You need lime?
Oh, actually, I would like some garlic because I haven't seen any in the markets. Yeah, like for
Garlic, what is $10 each?
just one. Yeah, yeah.
It's $10.
That's a good one. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You keep the change.
This is how much?
How much?
Okay.
50.
50. 25. 75. And then 75.
It's 150.
Yeah.
This is 100. 150.
Okay.
$40.
Okay, no, keep it. Thank you, sister.
So it was 160 altogether, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Yes. Jadi Jeff.
Just so
Abaraka. Do you have a
Okay,
bag? Oh
yeah.
yes, perfect. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
So we just spent 160 Dalasi, which
We
is
just got-
$2.80. We have carrots, 3 carrots, cucumber, cabbage, and garlic.
Okay. We got all of this for $2.80.
Which is 160 Dalasi. I haven't
And,
seen
oh,
anybody
man.
selling cabbage on the beach or cucumbers. That's why I was like, okay. Usually they have fruits like bananas, apples,
Yeah.
oranges on
No.
the beach, coconut, you know, or
It's-
fresh juices or whatever. So yeah, she's selling something unique for this area. which
And
is why I
like
want-
sometimes it's stuff you actually need. You know,
Yeah,
it's
if-
like I mean, obviously when you go to some like the tourist place, they may be selling you like these bracelets and like, you know, little jewelries and stuff
that's
like
nice,
that.
but you may not necessarily need.
But typically, the people who are out here selling you things are, I mean, it's stuff that you can actually use, like an apple, an orange, a banana, you know, some fruit, some vegetables.
Yeah, it's
Like,
nourishing
so-
for your.
If you don't need it, you can say, okay, I'm fine. But if it's something that you need, you're probably going to get a good deal.
Yeah,
And-
and you supporting the locals.
And it's something that's going to nourish the body. You feel me? So yeah, that was just kind of an interaction that we had as we were talking about boundary setting, and when it can be a good thing to know what you want and to accept
Yeah.
when these people come around selling
Right.
things.
And then also, as you can hear, we were asking her, Nyantala, which is
Nyantala,
how much,
how
what's the
much?
price,
Yeah.
what does that cost? But also knowing that everything is negotiable here in the Gambia. There's a first price and there's a last price, but the price that she gave us, we were aware of what it should cost or what it normally costs is in the market. So there was no need to negotiate as far as that. But it's important to know the prices when you're going to shop at different markets, because just by, like we just talked about, our appearance, the way we look, it's very common to be overcharged, to be given a tourist price versus a local price. They could charge you 2 or 3 or maybe 4 times as much as they would normally charge. So if that is the case, you have to be aware of what it should cost, but even that times 2, times 3, or times 4, it could still sound cheap to you because it's probably cheaper than what we pay for it back in the States, but still knowing that this is not what that really is.
Right.
But the first price is the first price that they give you, and if you may hear them say last price, which is like, no more negotiating. Like, this is what I'm gonna accept. That's my last
dollar.
Right. But even we've had some instances to where we still, even after they said last price, to where we still got a lower price.
A little bit less.
Got
the laster price.
Yeah. Right.
Got the lastest price.
Yeah. So just being, I think most importantly, except, what am I trying to say? Most importantly, not to make the negotiation process a stressful situation, because it can be a little frustrating at times, because we're not used to that in the States. It's like whatever it say it is, it is.
Everything has a price tag in the States, and you're used to that. But everything, nothing here has a price on it. Unless you're actually in a store, a supermarket, at the actual store in a supermarket, you'll see prices. You can't negotiate that. But like in other places where they just set up shop on the side of the street, or like a local market, or like here just now, on the beach or wherever you are, they can sell you something on the side of the street, wherever you are. Even for like, we've seen like appliances, even like larger items like that can still be negotiable. You just have to, know who you're working with, who you're talking to. And it's always good to know a local person if you're shopping for something big like that, to take them with you, because they know, because it's a large appliance, it probably costs a large amount of money, or more, than a smaller item. But just if you have a local friend, which is definitely always good to have, take them with you when you're making large purchases, because they know the prices, they can negotiate for you, or it's just good, but always I think it's important to make the interactions light and fun, and when you're speaking to people, and not, depending on the situation, but you know what I'm saying, to like break the barriers down, just to be loving and kind and open and friendly, and project that, because that's what we want to receive in return. Amen. I'm sorry I keep looking over here, everybody. There's a beautiful sunset situation happening. It's like,
can we share it? Can we?
Let me just give a little something, a little glimpse.
The camera's not really doing it justice right now, but it's very beautiful.
I see that. Whoa. Beautiful, right? Yeah, so sorry, that was just getting my attention for a second, but I'm a water boy, water child. Not water man, not your boy. Okay, family. Well, we've touched on a few topics that we wanted to share. Just in and this is just like literally our first 4 weeks, and obviously we have a lot to say, have a lot to share, and there's more. Okay, there's more. Well, we told you though at the beginning of this video, we're going to tell you our Gambian given names. Shoot, I'm thinking about making them wait till after the part 2 is over. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all now. Since you stay with us this long. No, they stay with us this long. Okay. So I was given the name Lemon, which in Gambian culture is always given to the firstborn son, and I'm the firstborn son of my family, and so that was the name given to me, and so I'm known here as Lemon. So when I introduce myself to Gambians, I usually tell them Lemon. And they kind of wait to see what my last name is, but we haven't got that far yet. Now, I was given another name in Kenya, and I thought about maybe using Lemon as the first name and the Kenya name as the last name, but I'm still working on it. Maybe after the part 2, I'll tell you what my Kenyan given name was.
Yeah. Which the Kenyan given name was more so like a more general descriptor.
But still,
yeah.
Same thing.
Right.
It was given to me.
It was given to you, but it's pretty cool.
But yeah, so Lemon. Uh-huh.
So
And
my Gambian given name is Fatu, or Fatumati, or Fatima is another
got
variation.
so many cool little switch ups.
So
Lemon is just Lemon, or you can call me Lamin.
Or Lamin or Muhammad also has the same meaning.
Muhammad.
They're two different names, but they have the same meaning. So Muhammad is also a firstborn son given name. But for me, Fatu is the name given to the firstborn daughter, which I am. So, yeah.
So Lemon and Fatu are out here in these Gambian streets.
And we were given these names by an elder sister or auntie. Everybody is uncle, auntie. So if it's an elder or just, whoever, it's auntie. Everybody's auntie, uncle.
Uncle.
He's Uncle Deshaun.
Uncle Deshaun. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like my name, the way they pronounce it, I love it. For some reason, the S and the H. Deshaun, that don't really get translated
it's
too well.
It's kind of like a Z.
So it's like Deshaun.
Yeah,
Deshaun. And then some even leave the N off.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Deshaun.
But it's, for some reason, your name is more challenging for them to articulate.
Yeah, so
clearly.
It's Deshaun. So I'm Deshaun, I'm Deshaun, I'm Lamin, and I'm something else. I'll tell you that next time. I know we've been recording this video for a long time.
Yeah, we still have a lot. This was supposed to be one video, but because it's so much, we're gonna have to break it up into two. And it's getting dark out. Like when the sun goes down, it literally is black, pitch black.
Yes.
What time is it? 7:00. Oh, he's gonna be here.
Yeah, he probably should be heading.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
So
yeah.
Watch out for part 2.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's going to be coming like literally right after this one, so stay with us. This is YouTube, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe,
comment,
leave us your feedback, tell us your story, send us an email if you want to just send us some encouragement.
You can look at our the About section on our YouTube channel page. It will share more details about our business,
and our website.
Our website is
which
on
is
there.
www.blackfruitinternational.com.
And we have 2 other YouTube channels.
Okay.
Mine, which is Womb Nurse Spiritualist, so that is also located on the About section. So please follow both of our other channels as well, because we share more tips about as far as education, or from a professional standpoint of what we do, more tips and education regarding mental wealth and reproductive health, womb wellness, all that good stuff. So
so if you want to follow my I was about to say Facebook.
I know you would.
Wow.
Please don't follow him on
Mark
Facebook.
Zuckerberg. Hey, trust me. 'Cause very particular
But
about
seriously,
it.
we are working to transition to be less active on Facebook and more present on other platforms, specifically YouTube, Instagram. We even have a TikTok. So we do. Ain't nothing on there right now, but we got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hey, stay in touch with us. We will keep you informed. Keep us informed. Let us know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling out there, and we will definitely see you on the next one. Okay. Until then. Oh, I gotta keep it closed.